All right, good evening, folks. A little late on getting this video out again because of the holidays. But first of all, I hope everybody had a Merry Christmas and a safe New Year. This video is going to be pretty simple. I'm just going to talk about my preferred method of running and what's kept me profitable. Okay. First things first. Any day that I drop off a load, I want to be picking up. Okay, good example. I picked up a load this morning. I'm just coming out of the house. I picked it up Monday morning. I'm going to deliver it Wednesday morning, early, as early as possible. And I think 8 o'clock is the earliest to let me in. But once I drop this thing off, I'm going to hightail it up and pick up another load before 3 o'clock. And put it back in the wind for another 150 miles, and then I'll shut it down for the day. Okay? So the trick is, any day that you are dropping off, you want to be picking up. Okay? This just happens to be Monday because I'm coming out of the house from the holidays. So I'm going to pick up Monday. I picked up today. I'm going to deliver on Wednesday, and I'm going to pick up Wednesday. Wednesday's load, I'm going to deliver on Friday. And Friday, I will pick up before close of business. That way I have a nice leisurely weekend to run out that, 1,100 miles or whatever it is. So that's getting me 3 loads in the week, okay? I used to think it was a joke, but CRST told me when I got here, and I believe it was Rob Janicki. He's a great guy. I'm sure you've all met him. Some like him, some don't. I think he's a pretty good guy. If you run 3 loads and 1,500 miles, you're going to make money here. I didn't believe that. I was like, yep, sure, whatever. It's a student company, they're going to tell you whatever they need to tell you. No, it's true. If you run 3 loads in a week here, you're going to make money. And as I found out, if I run the three correct loads, I make damn good money. My trick is I try and keep my loads between 900 and no more than 1,300 miles. Okay? That's just me. You can find a lot of those loads, paying anywhere from $225. I've had them pay all the way up to $450 a mile. That may not sound great to some people, but it works for me. It pays my bills. Okay? And after the year of being here, I was looking at a 6-figure income, so I'm not going to complain. So, trick is, any day you drop off, you want to be picking up. You want to try and get in 3 loads for the week, okay? Tuesday is the day that they're going to take your deductions, okay? I guess technically they could list it as Monday at close of business or whatever, but Tuesday is when your deductions are coming out. So I'm not sure whether you're getting paid once a week or you're on the 48-hour deal or, but if you run 3 loads a week, you are going to make money here. Okay? And the best way to do that, keep those loads down to 900 to 1,300 miles. Now, if you've got a load that they want you to pull and it's 1,800 miles and it's damn sure worth it monetarily, in other words, you're getting paid good for it, be careful. Take a look at that load, because 1,800 miles, they're going to give you quite a few days on that. Number 2, if it's heavy, it's probably going, at least halfway across the country. What mountains are you going through, and how heavy is that son of a gun? So, I'm not going to get off on that one with you. But I'm going to tell you the sequence in how I run my day. Okay? We'll just say it's Monday morning. I'm coming into Houston, making my delivery at 8 a.m. I'm probably going to be out of there by 10 o'clock. I'm going to hightail it up to my next pickup, which for me is probably going to be around the Baytown area. That'll load somewhere around 2 o'clock, between 1 and 2. Once I pick that load up, I'm going straight to a truck stop. Okay? That first truck stop's usually within 10 to 30 miles of where I'm picking up. So, when I go in, I scale that load. I'm also doing my first load check. If you remember how this is done correctly as flatbedders, once we get loaded, we want to stop and check that load within the first 50 miles. I know you're laughing right now. A lot of people don't do it. You only have to lose one load or have one load shift on you, and you will start doing it, I promise you. Especially if you have coils move on you. Or, I don't know, a pallet of shingles roll over on you, or just tip forward or tip to the side. Check that load within the first 50 miles. So pick it up, get it strapped down, get it chained down, head to a truck stop, scale that load, make sure you're scaling it, okay? I mean, let's be realistic here. If I get a load, like a Valmont load where it's, 18,000 pounds, I can look at my pressure gauge and tell, I probably don't have to scale that, okay? For me, if it's over 35,000 pounds, I scale it because shippers make mistakes, brokers make mistakes, agents make mistakes, and loaders make mistakes. So pick up your load, get to a truck stop. You're running within that first 50 miles. Stop, scale it, check your load. Do a load check. Real simple. Doesn't take long. Scale it, walk around the truck, double check your straps, get something to drink, get a cup of coffee, put it in the wind. Run it out. Try and get out about 150, 200 miles. Okay? Remember, you've dropped off in the morning, now you've picked up, now you've scaled it. You're not going to have a lot of time left on your clock. Try and get it out about 100 to 200 miles. Shut it down for the night. Do your post trip. When you're doing your post trip, add the load check to it. Double check the load again. Now you've checked it within 150 miles. If you remember how this is done, when we get loaded, we check it within the first 50 miles. As our day progresses, we want to be stopping approximately every 150 miles, approximately, to double check that chain down or strap down. It's that simple. So, now you've made your delivery, made your pickup, you've scaled it, you went within your first 50 miles, you've double checked your load, make sure it's secured, you've hightailed it out of there, you ran it out about 140 miles and you found a place to shut it down. You shut it down, you've done a post trip, and you've done another load check. Boom, beautiful. Get some food, get some sleep, go to bed. Get up, start it all over again, folks. Now, when you're doing your pre-trip, do another load check. I know you haven't rolled anywhere, but we're in times where people will screw with your loads and screw with your straps and just intentionally screw things up on your truck. They'll move your glad hands, they'll disconnect glad hand lines. People are stupid. Luckily, with the CRST trucks, they can't pull the kingpin. That used to be a major problem. I'm glad CRST has them set up this way. But do your pre-trip, check your load. Get yourself some coffee, whatever you got to do. Put it in the wind. Here's how I do it. You don't have to do it this way. I run for a total of about 9 hours a day, sometimes 9.5. I've got my coffee, I've done my pre-trip, I've done my load check, I put it in the wind. I run it out for 3 hours. Generally gets me around 180 miles, maybe a little bit more depending on where I'm at. I find a rest area or a truck stop. I don't use ramps, and I don't use the shoulder, and I do not recommend that you use them, okay? It's a good way to get your ass killed, okay? And I've seen too many damn drivers out here that don't know how to come off a shoulder properly. So, if you happen to be one of those, learn how to do it correctly before you try that shit. But for your safety and everybody else's safety, don't stop on a ramp. Don't stop on the shoulder to do a load check. It's a good way to get killed. So, I've run out my first 3 hours. I find a rest area or a truck stop. Come through the fuel island or park in the rest area. Get out. I do a couple of laps around my truck. When I do a load check, I actually walk around that truck about 2 or 3 times, okay? One time I'm going around, I'm looking for certain things. Second time, I'm looking for other things. If I go around a third time, I'm checking my truck, my trailer, and the load again. Okay, so I've gone 3 hours. Um, I've done my first load check. It's approximately 150. It's a little bit more, but hey, no big deal. Now it's taking me 5 minutes to get a cup of coffee, check my load, get back in the wind. Now I'm running my second 3-hour stint. Notice the key number here, folks. I run 3 hours at a time, okay? After that second 3-hour shift, I'm going to find a rest area, I'm going to find a truck stop, and I'm going to do a 30-minute break. I've run approximately 6 to 7 hours at that point. So, do my 30-minute break. I do a load check at that point. Again, I'm checking at approximately 150 miles, usually about 180, maybe even 200, depending on where I'm at. But it's close to 150. So I finished my second 3-hour stint. I've done my load check. I'm also going around and doing an en route inspection. You don't have to mark this on your logs, okay? A lot of people don't even know that we should be doing that, and all it is, folks, is a quick walk around. You're not going to check your fluids, okay? You're only doing a 30-minute break. You barely had enough time for that engine to cool down and for the fluids to settle, but you can open the hood if you want. Check for any obvious leaks that may have started or anything that may be fluids you may be losing, okay? Make sure the engine's off so you can listen for some air leaks too. You never know. So I've done my first 2 3-hour shifts. Now I've done my 30-minute break. At that point, I have already put a plan in my head where I'm stopping at, okay? During that 30-minute break, if you don't know the route that you're on that well, use your GPS or buy one of these jobs and start looking 150 to 200 miles ahead for a place to shut down before you leave from your 30-minute break. Part of planning your route. You should have known already, but if you're new, you're not, okay? So use the truck stop guides, use your GPSs. At the end of that third or the end of that second shift, during that 30-minute break, start thinking about where you're going to be shutting down for the night and watch your time. We all know that it gets crazy after certain hours at these truck stops and you will not find parking. The schedule I run on may not fit for you. So basically what I've done is I've run 9 hours out of the day. Now do the math, folks. On a bad day, that's if I'm only averaging 60 miles an hour, okay, with traffic and stopping and going and all that, I'm still pulling 540 miles. Now, remember I said sometimes I run 9.5. If I need, that 600 miles for the day, I'll run that extra hour out. Now I've run 10 hours. Only used about 11 and a half hours on my 14 hours though. Okay? So I run in 3-hour increments. Reason I do that is I want to make sure I'm getting out of this truck and I'm walking around. Okay? You've seen, excuse my terminology, the rather robust drivers, the large drivers that are starting to show neuropathy in their ankles and in their lower legs. That could have been avoided if they just, watch what you eat out here. Make sure you're staying hydrated. You're stopping after 3-hour shifts. You're running 3 of those, so you're stopping twice during the day. Once for a quick 5-minute load check, and then you're doing your 30-minute break. You have time to get out and walk around. One of the benefits of being in flatbed is we still get some physical exercise, okay? If you're not doing that, look, you're going to feel the fatigue. You're going to feel tired. You're going to notice over time that your energy is dropping, and you're going to wonder why you're tired all the time. It's because your metabolism is not doing what it needs to do. So make sure you're hydrated. Make sure you're eating. Make sure you're getting sleep. We have a 10-hour break, folks. And it's funny, because I run those 9-hour shifts, most days I get about a 12-hour break by running that way. And 540 miles may not sound like a lot to you, but most of my loads, the way that I run, I'm running anywhere between 900 and 1,300 miles on my loads. Okay, I try not to go over that. Once in a while, I'll go under the 900. I will take a quick 400 to 800 mile run, just, to get in an extra load. But I keep my loads between 900 and 1,300 miles, and allows me to get 3 trips in a week. Running 3 trips a week here, you will see profit, and good profit, if you watch your fuel. Watch your fuel, watch what you're spending out here, okay? You've got refrigerators in these trucks. I would recommend putting a microwave in your truck. Use Walmart. Stop at a Walmart. Pick up sandwich meats or lunch meats. Make sure you have bread. Sure you have peanut butter and jelly. You can even get some canned goods if you have the microwave, okay? Another thing, I keep a coffee pot on my truck. I happen to use a Keurig because I only want to do it 1 cup at a time. I'm tired of making a pot of coffee in the morning, drinking 1 cup, maybe a cup and a half, and then taking off and losing the rest of that pot, okay? So I use a Keurig. It works. Saves me money. Look, you've gone in and bought coffee out here, probably, and if you haven't, you've bought sodas and things like that. That coffee's almost $2 a pop now. I'm a former NCO, folks. I live on coffee. Caffeine and nicotine is what keeps me going. So, if I'm drinking 2 to 3 cups of coffee a day, I'm spending $6 a day just in coffee. That's a little tough. I mean, you're talking $42 a week just on coffee, when I can go out and for $12 have enough coffee for the week in my Keurig. So I'm not going to go too much further into this. This is going to be a relatively short video. Here's the trick. You need to figure out how you can run 3 loads a week, and you'll see a profit here. Tuesdays is when they're taking the deductions out. So watch how you're getting those trips in. Once I unload, I make sure I transflow everything in immediately. I do not wait till the next day. I do not wait till to go to a truck stop. You do it right off your phone. Just send it in, get it out of the way. Call that agent that you took the load for, get the load closed out. Because if you send the paperwork in and the load does not get closed out, it floats around in transflow space. I've got to see how this new Mavid system works, but make sure you're closing that load out either just before you transflow or after you transflow, and transflow as soon as possible to get that paperwork in. So you want to be running 3 loads a week, and you're going to see profit here. Me personally, I keep them between 900 and 1,300 miles. I see good profit like that. Again, I run in 3-hour increments, okay? Why? Keeps me from getting complacent. Keeps me from getting fatigued and tired. It allows me 2 opportunities to get out of the truck during the day to move around, walk around, and I don't stagnate in the seat. I also don't end up with tunnel vision as I'm going down the road, okay? Once I stop, I make sure after my post-trip and my load check, I get everything done as quick as I can after the post-trip and the load check. That's where I take my time, folks. When I go in to get something to eat or whatever the case may be, I get in and get out. I don't play games with it. Another good point I want to make to you folks. Please remember, we are OTR truck drivers. We run coast to coast, border to border, okay? Some of you even go into Canada. What we do out here is a marathon. It's not a sprint, folks, okay? By getting in that mindset of hurry, 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 you're asking for trouble. It's going to make you drive like an idiot, for starters. And when we cross paths, you can bet your ass I'll be the one to tell you you're driving like an idiot. Don't care if I hurt your feelings. I'm just giving you one of the best recommended methods for running 3-hour increments. And if you're just always feeling like you're under the gun or under the clock, when you're loading and unloading, again, you're going to be rushing around. You're going to be, running around like a chicken with your head cut off. That's how injuries happen, folks. That's how people get hurt. Okay? If you don't end up getting hurt, you're going to miss something on your securement. I can't emphasize that enough, folks. This is all a marathon, not a sprint. There's plenty of hours in the week. You have plenty of time available to run 3 loads in the week. Okay, so run those 3 loads a week. I recommend running in 3 to 3.5 hour increments. Stop, get out, walk around, check your load, make sure everything's good. Back in the truck, do it again. You stop for the 3rd time, shut it down for the night. Do a good post trip. Do a good load check. Get some rest. Make sure you're drinking water out here. I actually make sure I drink at least 2, I think they're 24-ounce bottles. They might be 20-ounce bottles of water every day. That's still not enough, but it keeps me going. I generally have 3 of them in a day because I drink 2 during the day and then 1 at night. So make sure you're staying hydrated. Make sure you're getting good rest. Make sure you're eating properly. Make sure you're walking around. But by running those 3 to 3.5 hour increments, it allows you to not get complacent. It allows you to maintain safety, cut down on the fatigue, allows you to get out and move around. And don't feel like you're under the gun, folks. It doesn't matter if it takes you 30 minutes to strap a load down or 3 hours. If it's taking you 3 hours, let's be honest. You may be new at this game. You may be learning. Try and get some help from somebody. But you will get better at it as time goes along. And do not shortcut strapping and chaining, okay? The stupidest thing I've ever heard out here is I've had drivers park next to me and tell me, wow, you got way too many straps on that, or wow, you've got 2 or 3 extra chains on that. No, they're not extra. And there's you will never get a ticket ever for being over secured, okay, as they say. But there's also no such thing as over secured, okay? Here's a fact that most of you don't even realize, and you're in flatbedding. If, God forbid, you roll your truck over, when they come out with a wrecker and they flip that truck and trailer back over, if the load does not come back over with the trailer, if it stays on the ground, that's additional fines and tickets for an improperly secured load. Doesn't matter that the straps broke, doesn't matter that the chains broke, it's additional fines. If you want to question me on it, feel free to question me on it. I had to let a driver go in Illinois for that issue, okay? Guy had 31 years of driving experience, and I had only been driving for about 12 years at the time. I just happened to own trucks, and I had to let a 31-year veteran go because he did not understand that and was, standing there with a state trooper getting fines when I pulled up. So, look, folks, it's a marathon, not a sprint. Try and find a comfortable method to run. I recommend 3 to 3.5 hours at a time, preferably 3, okay? That allows you to get in there because we need to be checking these loads approximately every 150 miles. Like if you're checking it at 180, 190, you're close to 150, okay? So about every 3 hours, stop, check that load, get out and move around. At the end of that second shift, it's a perfect time to take that 30-minute break. At that point, You've done an en route inspection. You've walked around, visually checked your truck, visually inspected the load again, made sure it's still secured. Now start thinking about where you're shutting down for the night, and start looking at what's ahead. Do I have bad weather ahead? Am I going to have heavy traffic ahead? Where am I shutting down? That way you're not out floundering, and in that last hour to 2 hours available on your 11 hours, you're not running around trying to find a place to shut down. You should already have a pretty good idea in your head by the time you get to your 30-minute break. Okay, so this went over a little bit longer than I wanted it to, but again, like I said, I'm trying to keep them at 20 minutes or more. This way keeps all the hecklers off, and I don't have to deal with their nonsense. If you have any questions about what I just went over, please feel free. Reach out to Flatbed Operations. Give them my truck number, which is 506142. Ask them to reach out to me. I will give them my phone number to give to you, and then you can call me directly if you need to. You will also see me out there in the Oklahoma terminal. I've got to run down to Alabama later this month, so I'll be down there as well. So real simple, folks. 3 loads a week. Any day that I drop off, I'm picking up. Doesn't always work out, but I may drop off Monday morning and not be able to get a load Monday afternoon, so Tuesday morning I'm on that next load. Just my recommendations. If you happen to have any recommendations that work good for you, please send them in. I'll be more than happy to share them with everybody. But on that note, it is getting late. As you can tell, the screen's getting darker and darker, and I got to get some sleep. So please stay safe. If you have any questions or comments, please send them in. On that note, folks, if you can get more subscribers to this page, I may be able to work with the IT department at CRST and get these videos done professionally in a classroom setting where I can have a whiteboard and things like that to use to explain some things a little better. But I've got to have the subscribers to do it. Like I said, there's no monetary gain for me on this. This is just about me trying to help drivers out. We need to keep each other accountable. We need to keep each other safe. And let's get back to the way things used to be. Flatbedding used to be fun. Folks. We used to help each other out at the truck stops. We'd help each other out at the shippers and receivers. We just had a damn good time out here. So stay safe, keep the shiny side up, and keep the wheels moving, and you're going to make some money. Have a good night.